Okay, not really a major event, but an important event. It sets precedents, or it continues precedents. We've been offered an imperial crown. Obviously, we're gonna do what we've done in times past and have a lavish ceremony, but this means that we can go back. How many? Yeah, back to Beltram, or well, right after Beltram. To yeah. So, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 emperors. And was no beatified. He's 1 beatified, 1 saint. Okay, he wasn't. He's also beatified, I think. Yep. And this guy got nothing. So, yeah, this Anton is a saint too. It's interesting to do this. Just got to figure out where we are in relations to things. Yeah, after a certain point, you gotta make sure. Okay, this is the guy who was the original king of Egypt. All right, and Philip. Yeah, this is our original male character who was a saint. And then, oops, this was the original character. It's just a not really important, but just a a nice little reference to see how we've gotten, how far we've gone. So yeah, and the direct descendant of this person is the King of Scotland. Her most direct heir is the King of Scotland. I don't know what's with that. Let's check with the most direct heir of her husband is also the King of Scotland. So, I don't know what that says about anything, but that's real interesting. And it just goes to show how stuff can change for family lines in Crusader Kings. Now, it might be because they had different laws. So, like, yeah. Like, Philip was the heir. See, this is a completely different thing. It goes in on a different line. But that's because this guy was his son. Yeah, so it's just going by the normal succession lines, which we didn't follow. And then Sion here. And then Hole. Yeah. Well, the easiest way to do it is just to click and then go trace it like this. And see how far you can get until you find that somebody that's not the king. Which would be Sion. Okay. Okay. So our line descends from Lucas, and that's where it really diverges. Actually, I think it diverges at Sion. I haven't watched the old stuff, and I don't think I've ever watched the old stuff aside from actually recording it and editing it. So. I don't remember. It's been so long that I don't remember who were bastards or why they were. Before I make the EU3 conversion, I'll go over things and make some changes. But yeah, it's just a little update. With the Emperor, we can rightly call ourselves the Empire of Egypt, which we have for the last 5 rulers in probably about 200 years. So. Not 200 years. I don't know how long it's been. A long time. Since... Okay, so probably since this guy's son. So... About 120 years. Just, give or take a few years. Still, that's quite a long time. Anyway, I'll be back with stuff. Well, I didn't want to, but since it's popped up like 6 times, honestly, I don't know why, but this guy wants to be my vassal. Now there are positive and negative points to this. Well, positive being he's right next to us, so it actually makes sense that he would want to be our vassal. Negative is that there is no duchy related to that we could actually get. So there's that. I'm going to accept it though, just because it's popped up like 6 times. So I actually have a claim on this one right here. I was thinking about grabbing it because, well, look at it. It's pretty good for, you know, being where it is. But, again, well, actually Normandy, I think, well, England doesn't exist. That'll probably change. Normandy, who's Normandy? I don't know. Oh. Yeah, this guy. This guy probably used to be the king. I'm almost positive, because look at that. Anyway, I think Norway is the king now, which is pretty stupid. He's got the plague. Yeah, but he's king of Norway, Aragon, and England. Most random combination of countries ever. And he's actually not that strong. Like, he's got a bunch of stuff in Norway, but, you know, Denmark is way stronger than him. Well, that used to be. It may not be anymore. But yeah, this is a jumbled mess. Scotland is the strongest one here, so we'll see. We'll see how that ends up. Could be a long time before the game ends. So we'll see. Oh, whoa, whoa! Sicily's going pretty far up the peninsula here. Another rather minor update. We've had Brittany, our former king, become a saint. You can see here we got the saint event. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Doesn't really mean much, but you know. Well, I don't know how I can, yeah, there we go. This event right here, the boar event, was because I was talking to this guy, Amadeus, Count of Mine. Well, now he's asking to become my vassal. Well, because my prestige is really high, because I'm right next to him, because I have a bazillion titles, he's not going to stop asking me. So, what the hell, you know? Most likely he'll break off or he'll die and somebody will, you know, inherit, like this, well, this guy's his father. But, you know what I mean. It's unlikely that that becomes a permanent part of our empire. So, I'm not overly concerned about these two provinces, let's say. But, I said yes, because they're annoying and they won't stop asking, so, you know, we'll see. If we end up getting this entire area, then, you know, hell, that'd be pretty cool, but, you know, that's not going to happen, and, you know, I don't really care if it does, so, but, you know, I'll keep it if I get the whole area, but I'm not going after it on my own. Well, depending on lifespan and health, we may be looking at our last or next to last king of Egypt, the Breton Empire, if you will. Didn't turn out quite how I'd like. His diplomacy is really low. His stewardship is not that great. He'll definitely be a step down from Colis here. But he may not end up being the king because, well, you can already see his 10-year-old brother is a bit ahead of him in a couple areas, notably not Marshall, who is, his brother is about 10 points higher than him. But where it counts, he's either close or better. So where it counts being stewardship, diplomacy, and intrigue. Obviously he's not better in intrigue, but he's pretty close. And him being only 10, he'll get 5, a possible 5 more scale ups. So he could get as much as 11. Well, it'll be down to 10 because he'll lose this. So if he gets 2 or 3 skill ups and if he gets like 2 here, 1 here, 1 here, and then 2 here, he with a level 2 or 3 or 4, since we tend to get a lot of 4s because of our good advisors, and good luck. A lot of our kids have ended up not being as good, and I just picked the ones that were. So yeah, he could turn out much better. But this could be our king, or our last king, or our penultimate king, and then his son could be the last king. That depends on if they catch the plague and if they last the 45 years or so. So we've had kings who lived into their 60s, so it's possible. He'd probably die as soon as we converted to EU3, but we'll see about that. It's not really important. But the next thing probably will be an update on him. We really have anything. Oh, we did have something happen. Stop. These guys declared war on France, and I decided, well, screw those guys. I'm not going to help them. And what the hell? Why can we see their territories? Am I allied with somebody around here? Am I allied with France? No? Who am I allied with? I'm not allied with anybody. Oh, okay, I guess we inherited another province. Yeah, that's been happening. I don't care. I haven't been paying attention to it. Whatever. Who gives a shit about those? Most likely they won't end up staying that way in the converting process. So because it's just dumb. And it's kind of silly to. Oh. It's kind of silly to, because I do have limited amount of people who can be independent, and because there are limited amounts of provinces open. It seems kind of silly to limit. Well, I think this entire thing is like 3 provinces instead of being like 6 in EU3. So. This is probably not going to be, a factor in that. This might be, but yeah, when we're taking a big chunk like this, that's one thing. But something like that's not going to matter. This might matter, but like I said, I'll make this a vassal, a duchy underneath us. I'm not going to split these off into duchies, because that would make us too duchified, and that would make us like really small and have a lot of ridiculous vassals in EU3, which is dumb. It completely defeats the purpose of the entire thing we were doing. So this game is about feudalism. That game is not. So I've had a pretty firm hold on everything the entire game. So I'm not entirely, well, not the entire game. Since we've become the emperor of Egypt, we've pretty much had a pretty firm hold on everything we've owned. With a couple hiccups here and there, but that's not as big of a deal. It's never been a long period of time where we didn't have stuff. So, probably the next thing you'll see is an update on who's going to be the king, and then the next thing after that is probably going to be, barring anything else, it'll probably be either the next king or the end of the game. Well, not quite an update on who's going to be the king, although looking at the kids, we got, yeah, it's going to be Lorenz here. Yeah, and he's my successor already. I got severely wounded from an assassin event, and then I got illness from that. and now I've got Plague Afflicted, so I'm gonna die pretty soon. Let's just hope that this guy doesn't get it, or this guy. I almost had him illegitimized. There's an event that pops up where it says your son turns out to be illegitimate, but there's an option to pay money or have the church save him, and the church saved him. So I didn't think that was important since nothing happened. But yeah, that drops us into dangerous territory, having a 5 diplomacy and a 2 martial. We'll see if anything comes of that. Hopefully we die quickly so we just don't disintegrate. Well, there we go, not soon after. Jeez. Oh, it's not that bad. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to check if we got beatified or anything. Nope. We didn't really do anything major on this game. But, yep, so, solid king candidate. His traits aren't good, but he's not bad. Got the same amount of intrigue, so same amount of everything. Well, can marry mommy off. But yeah, I'll pay for this, and this guy could be our last king. I mean, it's 99. So that's 42, and yeah, he'd be 56 when the game ends. So I've had kings that were older than that. So this guy is, if not the last king, the second to last king, and very likely to be the second to last king, because people have been dying. I think that Joseph was, Brittany was 50. Joseph was younger than that. No. Whatever. I don't care. So he's likely to be the last king. Well, this solves a few things. I go into negative prestige. That's not good, but, I find it hard to care. I find it hard to care that he broke off, considering I didn't really want him in the first place, and I'm frankly surprised he lasted as long as he did. That is a bad precedent, though. We'll have to see if things don't go badly in that department. Anybody else, like mine, we'd give up easy. Who cares about mine? Obviously, West Friesland. I actually thought he was their vassal. They were his vassal. We wouldn't mind. Everything else we're gonna fight for. I think I'd still fight for Damascus, even though I don't really want either of these. Because at least it's contiguous, part of the empire. Anyway, yeah, that's the kind of thing that can happen. Interestingly enough, this guy's been converting his provinces to Breton, and he's not Breton, so I'm positive now that can happen. So, yeah. Hopefully things don't go into the toilet, but that's part of what makes the game fun, so if that happens, that happens. Well, two things. Lorenz has finally come of age, our illustrious king of Egypt, and I married him off to an unrelated Breton girl. That's the best thing I could say about her. I mean, she's not bad. It doesn't really matter. But we've also had the spread of the pneumonic plague, which is exactly the same as the bubonic plague, only different. Because the immune to bubonic plague doesn't affect the pneumonic plague thing. So, yeah, that's pretty bad. It will spawn an immune to pneumonic plague thing after that. This tends to go pretty quickly. But hopefully it doesn't get everywhere. Although it's going to get everywhere. That's just the way things work. we've lost a king to the plague, so that's no joke. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully nothing bad happens and we can survive the last 40 years of the game. And here we go. Probably the final state of our king as far as education goes. It's not level 4, you know. You can't always get level 4s. I've been really lucky most of the game to get pretty good people. But he'll do us good till the end of the game. And, you know, we'll see what happens from there. You know, 40 more years, and we get a kid on the way. So if we're not the last king, then that could be the last king. We'll see. So yeah, we've weathered the beginning parts of the king of the most dangerous part of a child king's reign, which is the early part when you have 0 prestige and 0 piety. But we got away with that with only a minor vassal breaking off that we didn't really care about. So yeah, I think we're pretty smooth sailing as long as the plague doesn't get us. So of course, Crusader kings being Crusader kings, anything could happen, and you know, after what happened in that short period with the king, I wouldn't doubt something happening. So, and the trend continues. We have been offered an imperial crown by the Pope. Obviously, we are going to accept and hold a grand ceremony, and the person's going to gain intrigue. And here we have what possibly is the last emperor of the Breton Empire. Sounds weird to say it like that. The Egyptian Empire. So I guess you really could say we are Bretons, not Egyptians, but you know, we are Egypt, and yeah, that's the way it is. I don't know how that affects anything in EU3. It may put us in. There's differences between different types of, governments, but I don't think, like, the crown here represents the Holy Roman Empire, but as it says here, but I don't think it will actually make us the Holy Roman Emperor. Certainly not. But an interesting thing in Germany is that the German crown is actually held by Denmark. A German guy holding the Danish and German crown. Probably to kind of figure out what happened. I don't really understand how that happened. Germany seemed to be getting its ass kicked. So I don't know how somebody, not only of, you know, any German became the king of Denmark, but a von Franken, which is the uber king of Germany bloodline. Not always. Sometimes they lose it, but they've had it the whole game. So yeah, there may not be an Austria. There may not be a Holy Roman Empire as we know it. We'll just have to wait and see. There still is 40 more years of the game. Things could equalize quite a bit. 39 more years. So, yeah, we'll see. And of course, I'll still have to do some tweaking to actually get the conversion to work. So, I may have to change a few things. Obviously, there will have to be a Holy Roman Empire, and you know, the way the game is supposed to work is you go into as the Holy Roman Empire with a bunch of different German states, and yeah, you almost always will come with get into it with a pretty fractured Germany, which is the way it is right now. But I don't know. Like, you go into it, and I've never ended a game of Crusader Kings where you had Austria. Bavaria I've seen. Bohemia I've seen. Bohemia I've seen take over most of Europe. But I've never seen Austria, so that'll be pretty weird. It won't be weird in the context of Crusader Kings, because you must never see Austria. But yeah, it's really weird, and the game, assuming things go the way they're going now, it's very unlikely that the board will be the way it is, since the Turks aren't here. Although the Turks have been doing better. Turks have been bouncing back as best they can, and we'll see how things go. Well, we got a little minor war going. The Duchy of Edessa, right here, declared war on, or the Duchy of Basra declared war on them. So I'm gonna go up there and fight them and get a white piece from them. They are part of Syria, but they don't have very much of Syria, so I'm not really interested in that. Alright, we had a little bit of a revolt here. It should be finished pretty quickly. Not a big deal. I don't want to get stressed. Oh, right. And one of my vassals declared war on Denmark, and so I declared war on Denmark, but then I just white-pieced out of it because, I don't know, I didn't feel like dealing with it. I don't have anything. Denmark doesn't have anything I want. And I didn't feel like marching a bunch of troops up to fight them, so, you know. Everybody else is fighting them, so Denmark's pretty much collapsing. So, I don't know. Maybe the map will end up pretty normal after all. Get your dudes out of there. That's probably not going to work since they're plagued. Yeah, that's too few. Most of my guys are, most of my provinces are pretty done with the plague now. We got a couple places with pneumonic, and I think one with bubonic, and oh, I still won. Okay. And that's it. Oh man. Okay. Well, this is gonna be harder. Because, yeah, I pretty much just have Basra's troops here to fight them. And Basra's got a lot of troops, but, you know, Baghdad's are pretty close. This is the kind of thing I was talking about. Yeah, let's hire them. Alright. I don't think I have to admit his stupidness. What? I guess I do. I'll just wait till I capture Katara, and then we'll be over with. Should be pretty soon. Alright, Basra, here. No. Yeah, let's just march them down here. Yeah, let's just hope this doesn't snowball into something really nasty. Like a realm duress situation or something. We shall see. Oh, I already captured this. Okay. 5,321 war score. I think you'll accept that. Look at my prestige, holy crap. Yeah, for a show of force, let's just send them over here. Okay. Yeah, let's recognize. No. I never take money when I ask for peace because I never remember. I'm also allied with the Byzantine Empire, so that's why they're pulling their troops up. Yep. Yeah, they're not at war with them anymore. Okay. Or maybe they're doing something else. But we're allied with them. So, crisis averted. As much of a crisis as it was. Yeah. That was pretty much the only major thing that had happened to us in, like, that little stretch of, like, 5 minutes of that, the war with Denmark, then that, and then that. It's, like, the most exciting 5 minutes we've had in, like, I don't know, 30 years or something. Speaking of 30 years, we only have we have 25 more to go, so, I am predicting more of that little crap is going to happen because we're allied with the only major power capable of doing anything to us nearby. Sicily doesn't really count. They're not strong enough to fight us. And, yeah, pretty much everybody else is either up against the ropes or too terrified of us to fight us. Our vassals may pull us into some stuff, but I'll just get right out of it because I don't really care about fighting it. Although if anybody declares war on me, I will fight them, but nobody's declared war on me. It's always been my vassals declaring war on someone. So, yeah, our children are doing well. We've lost a couple from the plague, but this guy's been pretty fertile. So we got a few vassals and bastards and kids. So we're pretty set as far as kids go. If something happens to this guy, living to 56 is, it's not easy, but assuming we can keep him out of harm's way, it's possible. So, yeah.